Today, I am meeting with author Teri Stevens. She is from California. We have enjoyed the journey of publishing Mackenzie's Ring together, which is a cozy middle grade mystery. It's about a summer camp. I'll read you the back cover. A mesmerizing story about the treasures we find, the secrets we keep, and learning when to let go. For 13-year-old Makenzie Taylor, being a junior counselor at Camp Baldwin means a whole summer of independence away from her overprotective parents. But when she discovers a mysterious ring at the bottom of Lake Tahoe, everything changes. Though camp rules require turning in found items, Makenzie feels strangely compelled to keep the ring, despite its peculiar way of changing colors. She begins having vivid dreams of a young woman in vintage clothing, dreams that grow more unsettling with each passing night. When an ethereal figure appears near the 100-year-old Baldwin Manor and someone recognizes the ring, Makenzie realizes she has stumbled into a decades-old mystery, one that will force her to question everything she thought she knew about right and wrong. An enchanting tale of summer friendship, hidden histories, and the magic that happens when past and present collide. So, I am going to be welcoming Teri in. Teri Stevens is an author from California, so we are quite a ways apart, but through the magic of the interwebs, we can basically be side by side, and that is how we have navigated this whole publishing journey. We've never actually met in person. We've only met over Zoom, over email, and that's just kind of the way that's the way things can get done now, which is actually pretty exciting. I will share Teri's little bio from in the book. Teri Stevens devoured s'mores and creepy stories as a child during summer camp at Lake Tahoe, California. Mackenzie's Ring, a ghostly story of friendship and self-discovery, is her debut novel. When she's not writing or exploring haunted manors, she's caring for her three teenagers, husband, backyard chickens, and Max, the rescue dog. Visit her in Napa Valley, California, or at terrystevens.co. So I'm going to welcome Teri in, and we're going to dive right into talking about her journey as a writer through publishing and what life is like now that her adorable book is out in the world. Well, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for agreeing to do this. I know we've had a lot of back and forth trying to find a good time that works for both of us, and we've had to reschedule, and um, life has been lifing. So,
Yes,
so it's nice to
yes.
finally have you here, and we can finally get to talk about your book. We are here to talk about Mackenzie's Ring.
Yay, yay.
Came out in May, so it has been out for a little bit, which means you're going to have a lot to share about what it's like to have a book out in the world, what it's like to hear from readers. But first, I want to talk about a little bit about your writing process and the publishing process and what that was like for you. So first, you want to give a little maybe synopsis or brief summary of what the book is about?
So the book is about Makenzie Taylor, who is a 13-year-old who's ecstatic about being away from home and her overprotective parents for the summer. So she is a summer camp counselor at Lake Tahoe, California, and she finds a ring in the lake and doesn't think much of it, but you're supposed to turn found items in. And for whatever reason, she feels compelled to keep it. So she keeps it hidden and she's not truthful with her mentor, Hannah. And strange things start to happen while she's keeping this ring in secret and wearing it at night. She wears it when she sleeps, and she starts to have some interesting dreams. And she sees a ghostly figure. So Hannah's mom finds the ring. Maybe I'm giving too much away. Makenzie needs to turn it in, but ultimately she gets it back, and some interesting plot twists, which I won't give away, ensue. But the story is one of learning how to let things go, friendship, trust, and ultimately why parents are the way parents are with us, and we need to understand. And I think at the end of the summer, Makenzie does all those things.
Mhm. Now, is this based on your experience as a child or your experience as a parent? Or is it a combination of both?
Oh, I would definitely say it was a combination of both. I was lucky enough to go to summer camp at Lake Tahoe when I was a kid. And so this setting is the camp that I went to, but I married it with another historic setting at Lake Tahoe, which is the Baldwin Estates, but I renamed it the Baldwin Manor. So, and it is a 100-year-old estate that wealthy San Franciscans built in the late 1800s. It's actually a very interesting place to go visit.
Hmm. Can you talk a little bit about your process of actually sitting down to write the story? Like, when did you start? How long did it take? What was that journey like for you?
Sure. It was a very long writing journey. So I started writing this book over 10 years ago, really, when I had young kids. It was a way for me to do something creative on my own. The story kind of came to me when I was walking around the Baldwin Estates that I mentioned, although at that time it was an earring, not a ring. So I would write when the kids would nap. I joined a writing group, a women's writing group, the Write on Mamas, although we did have one dad. We would write in community at libraries or different places. And so I would write in soccer fields when the kids were practicing. So it was a long journey, but that was kind of my process. And then I must say that at the end, during COVID, there were four of us who jumped online Monday through Friday at 6:15 a.m. And we would write until we had to either go to work on Zoom or get a kid situated for school on Zoom. And so that really helped me to finish, revise, rewrite the book. So
I'm such an advocate for writing in community. I think it's so special and valuable. It adds so much richness to the experience because writing is so lonely if we don't invite
yes,
others in. So, did those people serve as beta readers for you or critique partners, or you just wrote
definitely.
together?
No, at the end. So one of us was finishing her MFA,
Mhm.
which she did, and it was fun to see her creative process because she also had to do other things, not just writing.
Mhm.
Um, but no, there were two women who stayed on board and were helpful with beta reading, pitch letters, query letters. We would bounce ideas off each other and get encouragement, which, like you said, when you're doing it's a lonely process. And the simplest question can be a hard thing to gnaw on all day. But when you have somebody saying, oh no, you should consider this, or what about that? And then you can go back and say, that was great, or it was hugely helpful. But they were very helpful with the process.
Excellent. And then, you did you finish drafting it during COVID?
Well, no. Well, actually, yes. And then the rewrites came.
Mhm.
So I would go online and take specific, maybe a Zoom course with an editor or something to kind of fine tune something. I
Mhm.
also had two middle schoolers as beta readers,
Mhm.
and that was really fun because I said, just write on it, write on the manuscript. And so I got smiley faces, or it was fun.
Yeah.
Um, but but I finished revising more towards the end of 2024.
Hmm.
So, but we were still jumping online every day, even then. And we did it for 5 years. So,
Wow.
um, yeah. And now we're about once a week to check in
Okay,
and
so
see
it's
where we're
still
at.
going.
It's still going,
Great.
still definitely going.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so you finished your draft. Then what was your querying process like?
well, I feel somewhat, I feel very lucky with that. So I queried nine editors, agents, the
Hmm.
old fashioned way, query tracker, you know, went to their submission page. Were they even taking middle grade mystery submissions? Because it's very specific, as you know.
Mhm.
So then I said, look, I've done 9. I need to redo this letter. So I did that. Anyway, my 10th submission was to you.
Oh,
So
okay.
I feel extremely lucky that that Chicken House Press and you resonated with my story. And so I didn't, I mean, I was prepared for 100.
Hmm.
That's we have a good friend who that's what she did, and literally like on her 101 she got an agent. So I was prepared for the long haul, but feel very fortunate that you saw the value of my story.
Oh, it's such a cute, special little story. I am so proud to have it as part of my catalog. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did we have emails back and forth before you even sent a submission? Or,
Exactly. So it was
okay.
winter.
Yeah.
It was January of 2024. And that was when I was redoing my query letter.
Mhm.
And I reached out to you and said, do you take middle grade submissions?
Mhm.
And it was snowing. And you said, yes, I do. Send some California sunshine my way.
Yeah. Okay.
And I said, well, I will submit after I redo this letter. And then I did, and you asked for the full, which was full manuscript, which
Mhm.
was great, and it went from there. So yeah.
Good. Well, I'm glad that you did that. I took the
Yeah,
California sunshine.
I know. And the
Looking for
funny
it
thing
again.
is, you know how sometimes you just kind of have a an intuition.
Mhm.
Well, we have chickens and we have a chicken house. So I was like, wouldn't it be so perfect if so anyway.
That's cute.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, you know, synchronicity
Yeah.
on a whole nother level.
Right. And then I really feel like our process, from me accepting to like we got the contract worked out and signed. And then I feel like the process of actually bringing it all together and working through edits, which I think were pretty minor.
Yes.
I think I had a few notes for you, but it was um, it wasn't a big deal. I feel like the process was so painless.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
I agree.
then we had this gorgeous story. So I mean, that's a dream for a publisher because it can go either way, right?
Right. And
Yeah.
I've heard stories. I
Yeah.
have heard stories. So no, I felt I and part of me was almost like this is too easy. I mean in a great way, you
Yeah.
know. So, but then you do that, you know, that thing sneaks in and oh, is this, you know, did I put all my points across? You know, is it because you want to do certain things like drop clues
Hmm.
and did you do that well enough? And
Yeah.
so these were the questions I asked of the beta readers.
Hmm.
And I felt like they kind of got them, you know,
Right. Yeah.
because you can't be too in your face, but you know, there's subtle clues throughout.
Yeah, there's a line you have to tread.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah,
Don't
because
want to give away.
yeah, we did want to brand this as like a cozy middle grade mystery. So it's not scary. There is a ghost story element, but it is very sweet and a light read. You're not going to be afraid to give it to your child to read.
No, exactly. Well, and so to that, the great thing is that I've had a lot of older friends and family read it,
Mhm.
and they really like it, and it kept their interest. And for adults,
Mhm.
I mean, I get that, you know, adults like all ages of books, but it to me, it just, especially authors that are friends,
Mhm.
because that they know the craft and that So that has been really fun to hear and be a part of that.
That's really encouraging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's like, okay, how do I market this to adults? Because that's the next step, right?
Well, I mean, we can talk about marketing if you want, but yeah, it's such a hard thing, and the industry is so saturated that it often feels like you're just one more voice in the noise. So trying to find your way to step ahead of everything is so hard. Do you want to speak a little bit about how you found that since the book's been released?
Well, I was very lucky to have a wonderful book launch event at the Napa Book Mine, which is a store I've been taking my kids to since they were, little
Hmm.
and wanting stuffed animals and not books, but then it did go to books. That was just really lovely. But now, just independent bookstores are much more open to getting the book, and I was able just to put the books in one another store here in Napa, and I'm working on kind of their franchise, if you will, in the area. But it's a lot of knocking on doors,
Yeah.
uh, emails, phone calls, and which I'm up for the task. It's just timing is everything, and people often don't get back to you and that kind of thing.
Yes. It
Yeah.
it is a grind, it is a hustle.
Mhm.
Yeah. Did that surprise you?
Not not necessarily. I was in marketing before I kind of left that world, and but I used to, phone calls used to be returned a bit quicker
Yeah.
because of the places I worked. But again, I understand people are busy. And I have to say, it's been fun. I got the book in with the help of friends and family in a bookstore in Tahoe.
Hmm.
Um, and I recently drove through there and saw it on the shelf, which was great. And family has helped me get it in libraries
Hmm.
and in California and Nevada. So my big thing is the next time I go to Portland, I'm going to order a book in advance to pick up at Powell's Books,
Yes.
and then I'm gonna, stand under the sign with my
That's
book that
great.
I got at Powell's Books. I'm
Yeah.
not just gonna work up with one. So
Love
yeah, who knows?
that
Maybe,
plan.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest marketing, it's not a challenge, but social media, because you want to be out there, and it does take time and coming up with creative things, and I'm not great at reels yet. But one day I will be. So
Sure.
yeah. So
Yeah, day by
so
day, right?
yeah, it's a process. So I'm working on that. And the other thing too is I'm going to start doing some book book awards,
Hmm.
which who knows? I mean, I'd love to win an award. So for something that
Well, I mean, come on.
it's validation. So it's like, but I'm not going to go, hog wild or anything, just a couple of the better ones just to see.
Yeah, I mean, you really have nothing to lose, right? And it is a strong book. It has a great message. So I think getting it in front of the right people is, I mean, of course, that's what we want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and as you said, getting it in front of the right people. So because it's set at a summer camp
Mhm.
in Lake Tahoe that exists, and the formal name is the Tlac Estates in South Lake Tahoe exists. I would love to see it made into a movie because it would be such a cool setting.
Yeah.
It would just be really awesome. So that's my dream anyway.
Good. Stretch goal.
Putting it out there.
You never know, right?
You never know.
You never know
Yeah.
whose lap it's going to land in. I mean, dream big. Otherwise, what are we doing? What's it all
Yeah,
for?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, no. It would
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
be super cool. So
Yeah, that's exciting. Have
yeah.
your children read it?
Well, that's an interesting question. So I think I missed the boat a little bit because when they were younger, it was a weekly question. Mom, when is your book? When can I read your book? When is your book going to be published? So I have twin girls who are 17 and a son who is 18.
Mhm.
So the girls actually would read parts of the manuscript every now and then, and they had some great comments. Mom, this makes me want to go there, or this makes me feel like I'm there.
Mhm.
But my daughter Michaela did do collaborate with me, and she did the chapter break illustrations,
Yeah.
which was a lot of fun. She's a great artist, and
There's a great map.
there's a map. Yep. So I envisioned that because I think as you read a book, it's fun to know where they are
Mhm.
in, so yeah. So there was some collaboration there. So they have not read it yet, but their friends actually came to the book launch and bought it. So
Oh,
that
good.
was fun to see.
Yeah.
And I signed the book for them, and
Mhm.
then Michaela actually also signed it because she
Oh,
had done the illustrations. So that
yeah.
was fun,
Yeah.
for her friends. So
Yeah, that's so fun. And you
yeah.
did have a great turnout to your book launch.
I did. And another fun aspect of that was they have an author wall, which is behind the counter. It's a door.
Mhm.
And I got to sign that. And I think Dave Pilkey has also signed it, the underpants guy.
Yeah, that's
So
so fun.
yes. So
Yeah.
that's really fun. So yeah, there were just a ton of names, and to be included in that was really, really lovely.
Well, and that's just, you're part of the legacy now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
So
someday some new author is going to walk in there to sign the wall and they're going to be like, Teri Stevens.
yeah.
I'm on the wall with Terry.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's really fun.
It is. It is.
Yeah. Themes in your book. So you touched on this. There's friendship. There is the relationship between parent and child. There is a little bit about rebellion and
Mhm.
obedience, the tension there. How intentional were these themes for you to hit? You also talk about grief. So there are some really major things in there. Did that happen organically, or did you sit down to write a story about those things?
Oh, I definitely think it happened organically. I mean, initially it was she usually doesn't break the rules, but she feels compelled to keep the ring, so she does break the rules. So they all just kind of came, but I think, and there's also right and wrong, or kind of the truth, not will set you free, but the truth usually comes out.
Yeah.
It is interesting how once you're writing something, things just happen,
Mhm.
and that's kind of the fun or magic, if you will, of writing. And then there's the days where you're, half an hour with one sentence, and you're thinking, do other people spend this much time on a sentence?
They do.
Yeah. But yeah, it was more organic that way.
So would you call yourself a pantser or over being a plotter, or are you a little bit of both?
Well, I'd say a little bit of both because I had the idea.
Yeah.
And as you know, revisions change things.
Mhm.
So this book is not how the first pass went. It was a little different. And beta readers helped me along that way because they do. So I would say I'm a little bit of both. And then because I'm spending a lot of time marketing right now, the book, I haven't gotten back to writing. But I do have an idea for a second book. So that's a little bit of planning.
Yeah.
But then again, once you sit down to write it, it just kind of happens.
Mhm. Mackenzie is a swimmer.
Hmm.
Were you a swimmer?
I was not a swimmer.
So where did
Um,
that come from?
well, my daughter's a swimmer,
Mhm.
and she needed, well, so her overprotective parents wanted to make sure she swam during the summer to keep up with her practice.
Mhm.
So she had to go somewhere with a body of water. Now it could have been a pool, but Lake Tahoe's much more fun
Oh yeah. Yeah.
swimming than a
Great.
pool. So it was kind of that. And then actually my beta reader friend, Megan, is a swimmer, and she said you need goggles to see underwater. So those types of details, come from your beta readers because you're not thinking along those lines.
Yeah.
So
They fill in those gaps.
yeah, they do. So and that's so helpful.
Yeah. Do you have any specific memories from your own childhood experiences at summer camp that fed into this? Are there any like mirrored experiences?
Not really. Again, it's funny how some things get cut out, but I had a talent show in one of my drafts, which I did take out, but that experience mirrored my camp experience. So, silly fun fact that I can't believe I'm saying, but when I was a kid, I loved Cher. And
Okay.
I remember loved Cher. Like I invited her and Sonny to my fifth birthday. They never came.
Oh
But
my goodness. That's tragic.
yeah, I know. So, but anyway, I remember singing one of her songs at the talent show at camp.
Yeah.
Anyway, but not necessarily. I didn't, but I like the dust on the thongs. I mean, I still remember you go to bed at night and you've got a thin layer of dust up to your knee.
Yeah.
So little details like that. And then some of the names in the cabins, most of them are memories and they still exist at this camp. So there's some overlap there with more those details.
Yeah, of course. It adds such a layer of reality into the story, which is really,
Yeah.
really great. And I think we can feel that as readers. Like we can like this author knows what they're talking about. Like they've had these experiences. They've sat around the campfire. Well, most of us have, but you are writing from a place of experience. And so it's kind of that write what you know, but also
Yeah,
explore other things to just to build on that richness, right?
exactly. Yeah, no, thank you for that. Yeah, the fun thing has been to hear people's comments about, oh, it took me back to my days at summer camp, and then I have two great friends, and one of them never had a summer camp experience.
Oh.
And they actually read the book. They're older adults, and they read the book out loud.
Oh,
And she felt like she kind of got a camp experience, even though she never went. So
oh, that's so fun.
yeah, so that was fun to hear.
One of the things that you had wanted to do at your book launch was to roast s'mores. Did
Yeah,
that
so I
happen?
had a yes and no. So
Okay.
I actually had a vision of taking a fire pit to the book mine and on the sidewalk out front, having a fire so that people could roast s'mores. They were actually open to it. It's just I would have had to get a permit
Mm,
once I realized all the logistics. And then the other thing is, you don't just build a fire and start making s'mores. You have to have coals.
yeah.
And by this time, it was June. So anyway, but what I did do is again, this idea came out of the group that met in the morning. I did microwavable s'mores.
Oh,
So we had a little party Saturday before the launch, and we put together in little bags 2 graham crackers, 3 little Hershey squares, and a marshmallow, and then wrapped them in a bow and little directions on them. So it was put in the microwave for 8 to 10 seconds, and you got your s'more. So we had them there for people to take away the day of the book launch.
oh, that's great. That's a good
Yeah,
compromise.
yeah. So it was really fun, and yeah, it was good. It was really good. So
Good. Tell me how it felt to first hold your book in your hands. Like when your book first arrived, what was what was that like for you?
well, it was pretty surreal. I mean, the cover is so amazing with the navy blue and the stars. Like all of the time that I spent working on it, because as you know, it takes uh, thousands upon thousands of hours to write a book, that it was all validated and worth the time.
Mhm.
Because sometimes as a creative person, you're sitting there going, is this even going to happen? Am I spending my is so it just was such a joy to open the box and see it. And then of course with the illustrations from my daughter and just the whole package, if you will.
Mhm.
Um it just it's like, well, I was going to say it's like having a baby, but it's one
Well,
of those very special things that, that you don't, life is, as we get older, life is less of the big things. So
mhm.
this was a big thing, huge thing. So
Good, good.
yeah, yeah,
And I hope you continue to feel excited about it, that it's not just like launch day and then everything crashes. Because I know it is very normal to have that kind of high of the excitement of launch and then everyone goes home and it's just you and your book. And then, so
yeah. You're right.
I think it is very normal to have that kind of crashy moment afterwards, like that's it. So
Yeah.
I hope that you're finding more highs than lows in all of this.
Oh, definitely. No, in fact, well, so just earlier this week, I was able to get it in Copperfields, which is an independent bookstore in Napa. So I was like, I can't believe I'm walking my book into a bookstore and that was a big deal. And then was chatting with the events person, and we'll do a meet and greet next month, and then there's another independent about 30 miles from here. So it's just, luckily I live in Northern California where there are a lot of bookstores. I'm not saying they're all going to be as welcoming,
Yeah.
but there's certainly a market. And then next summer with camps, and so it's a long. I think you told me in an email. It's the long haul. It's not
Yeah.
the short. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So
the long game.
the long game. That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm playing the long game for
Yeah.
sure.
Good. And you feel like energetic about that.
Yeah.
You've got the fire in you.
I do. I do. I mean, I think you wouldn't want to spend that much time invested in something and then not to get it out there.
Yeah. Have you made connections with any local media outlets?
I had a great article published in a local Napa magazine pre-launch. So I haven't yet done that, but that is something I should do. I've thought about, so there's a radio station and they do a kids segment.
Oh,
Um, so I could try to get, Michaela and I, the artist of the
yeah.
on the show to talk about the book that way.
Mhm.
And then the other interesting thing is that people have said, this is a great gift. So the holidays are coming up.
Mhm.
So, give the gift of summer camp. I don't know. I'm going to have to get creative, but
You
there's
can
that too.
spin it so many ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so yeah. So no, I need to probably look into that more.
Mhm. Are there other middle grade authors that you draw inspiration from, or not necessarily middle grade? Are there authors that you're looking to for writing and but also for kind of how they're moving in the world? Like how beyond your own kind of pride in your work, where are you finding inspiration to keep going?
Yeah. So I've been reading a lot of middle grade, and that helps me kind of stay motivated. And I actually just discovered this British author. I want to say it's Beth Lincoln, and she had her second book's out, but it's The Swifts. It's like Knives Out for kids,
Oh
and
my. Okay.
yeah, and there's a lot going on, and her characters are very unique. very unique. In
Mhm.
fact, the first book I gave to my sister, who's a middle grade librarian for her library, and I just started the second one. So that's been interesting. And I want to say it's Katie Milford. She wrote The Glass House.
Mhm.
Do you know that
Mhm.
series? And there's a ghost in that people see. And I really liked that. Those are, both middle grade examples.
Mhm.
But I really enjoy Alice Hoffman, who is a fiction writer for adults, because
Mhm.
she writes magical realism in such a way that, you it doesn't seem silly or that it couldn't be happening. But
Mhm.
you know that it can't be happening because you know,
But it's
people
set
don't
in reality. It's
it's yeah, but it's very good. And so those are authors that I like. And then V.E. Schwab is an amazing author also. And she does write middle grade, YA, and adult fiction. So there's just
well,
too many books
I
to
know, right?
yeah.
You have to intentionally make time to read, or is that part of your kind of natural rhythm?
So I'm very busy during the day with all the family stuff, but so I read at night.
Mhm.
That's kind of my escape is
Yeah.
I read at night.
And are
So
you
that's
always in book form? Are you always holding a book, or do you read ebooks?
always,
Okay.
always. Yeah, I never adopted the
Mhm.
Kindle or is it Kobo? Yeah, I just it has to be a book. So I'm kind of old school that way.
Oh no, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever serves you best, whatever gives you the story, I think
Yeah.
that's great. There's something about holding the book, the tactile
Yeah.
experience, and it's like a trigger for your brain almost that now we settle in and now we are not distracted by everything. We're holding the book. We're kind of head
Yeah.
down. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, no,
It's an excuse to shut out the world in a way that a tablet isn't.
right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And they have their place, don't get me
Right.
wrong, but yeah, so no, but I gotta have a book.
Yeah. Are your kids readers?
Well, they used to be readers until, they're on their phones more
Yeah.
now than anything else, but they were big readers. It was great because when they were growing up, it was always, we did go to the library a lot when they were little. But then it was like, we'll buy you books if you want books. They're great in English class,
Mm-hmm.
which is a blessing because that shows that they actually, like to read
Yeah.
and kind of get it.
Yeah. It translated over.
It did translate over, which is great.
You said something to me in an email today that's actually made me mad all day.
Oh no. Yeah, I think I know what it is.
You had asked a library about doing some kind of an event or like an author, I assume a reading or a talk or something. And their response was that middle grade is hard because the kids get busy with sports. They're distracted by things. And
Yes.
I mean, we're all busy. So I think my response was, that's so lazy of the library. What was your response to that? And I don't think I realized that you had a sister who was a middle grade librarian. So hopefully that I'm not calling her lazy.
No, not at all. She's been lovely. She has the book in her library, and then
Okay.
she took a copy from another library,
Yeah.
and she's in Reno, Nevada. So no, it was a local library, and I was surprised, but I was thinking about that too after you commented, that was kind of a lazy excuse.
Yeah.
Um, that, I think once a reader, always a reader.
Mm.
And I mean, I think that yes, you might lose some, but you're certainly not going to lose all,
No,
you
like
know.
what if two kids showed up? Just two. And whatever you say influences one of those kids to pursue a creative outlet. Like I think there's so much value in building those bridges and connections, and I would hate to see a library turn down an opportunity to
Exactly.
nurture that in their community. So I
Yeah.
I don't know. It made me angry.
Well, in their defense, they do an event, which I wasn't able to do this year,
Yeah.
but I am like reaching out to them like in the fall just to
Yeah.
say, how do I get my name on this list? They do a Comic-Con event,
Great.
which I had gone to the year before the book came out, and I walked through. So I'm definitely going to get involved in that
Yeah.
for next year, and they do it in May, so it'll
Okay.
be my birthday.
Yeah.
But they do something like that, so that would be something that I could actually be and you know
And you're already piggybacking on the families that are coming for whatever, like if they know one of the other exhibitors or something. So that's a great opportunity.
exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, it'll be a lot of fun to do that. And then I'm also going to go to a Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators event,
Yes.
SCBY, in October, and I'm going to meet with a woman who does a middle grade book club
Mhm.
down in a community that's about an hour from here, but it's a bigger community. And so I'm hopeful that I'm going to give her the book and say, would you consider my book for one of your monthly meetings?
Yeah.
So I'm working all these different angles,
Yeah.
and that part is fun because when you get a win, it just feels like, well, this is great.
Well, and it fuels you to try the next thing.
Yeah. Well, and I think at this stage in my life, I've learned that there's why not ask? You can always ask. The
Mhm.
worst you can get is no. So
Exactly.
what? You asked and you put your foot in the door.
Yeah.
So you just have to put yourself out there. And
Yeah.
your book, it's really, it's not, you can't take it personally.
That's a hard one.
It is a hard one, and I'm sure I'll learn that
Yeah.
soon, but yeah, you got to ask the questions.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And it does sound like overall people have received you really warmly.
They have, and which is really great
Mhm.
because, you know, I think that bookstores and, they get that it takes a lot to
Yeah.
have a published book. It's not like, you just sat down and spit it out. I mean, this is over 10 years of
Yeah.
soccer practice, nap time, COVID writing. So, it's a long journey. I do envy the Stephen King type authors that seem to have something, new every month. But again, I know that's what he does daily. And
Right. That's their whole focus. They don't
yeah,
have to worry about anything else. They're
exactly.
living the dream.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, well, and I know where he started and his first book was Carrie that
Yeah.
he wrote in the laundry room downstairs in his apartment. I
And threw it
mean,
in the garbage.
yeah. So it's he knows
Yeah.
the suffering, if you will.
Yeah, he paid
Not
his
that,
dues.
no, but he did. He can have one come out every month if he wants.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So they're like 200,000 words, so I don't know how that's possible, but
Yeah, I don't either.
yeah.
And he's another one that writes just so unbelievably realistic.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that we should cover?
I don't think so. I got it all out there. I think one of the fun I should have mentioned that one of the fun things is when friends will send me a video or a picture of their niece
Yeah.
um, reading the book. And then this is a fun little thing. I was visiting friends who they actually bought like 5 copies and were giving it away to
Mhm.
people. They gave it to their neighbor for her birthday, and she read it in one night.
Mhm.
So I came to visit the friends, and she lives across the street, and she came over to say hi, and she was asking me questions, and she was giving me ideas for a sequel. So it
Aw.
was pretty interesting that she really enjoyed
Yeah.
the book, and So
She
that
was
was cool.
invested.
Yeah, she was. She really was.
Yeah,
So
that's so rewarding when you
yeah,
get that kind of feedback. That's really great.
yeah. So that type of feedback has been really fun.
Yeah, good. Well,
Yeah,
I hope it continues. I'm sure it will. As long as you keep putting yourself out there, I think people are going to respond. So
definitely.
so I hope you feel encouraged.
No,
And
I definitely do. I definitely feel encouraged.
Mhm.
So
Good,
yeah.
good.
Yay.
Do
Yeah.
you want to share where people can find you if they want to look for you online?
Sure. Well, of course, Chicken House Press. And I am on that A word Amazon.
Yeah.
But I'm also, you can find the book at Barnes and Noble, bookshop.org.
Mhm.
And then you can go into any independent bookstore, but they have to order it. And it might take a little longer, but you're supporting your local bookstore, and that's fabulous.
Yeah, we like that a little better than the A word.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
then the A word. So yeah, go to your local independent bookstore and ask for it.
Excellent. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, this has been lovely.
good.
Yeah. All right. Thanks,
All right.
Alana.
See you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, thanks for sticking with us through that great chat. If you would like to purchase a copy of Mackenzie's Ring, please go to chickenhousepress.ca. You can order a paperback from there. You can also walk into any independent bookstore or chain bookstore and ask them to order it in for you, or like give them a little tap on the shoulder and say, you really should have this on your shelf because this is a great story for middle grade kids and adults. Everyone loves it. Ebooks are available through kind of the usual networks, Kindle, Nook, Kobo. They're all there. I do believe you can find all those links at chickenhousepress.ca. Go to the bookstore, you'll find the book in the list there, and it'll take you where you need to go. So, thanks for hanging out, and hopefully, I'll be back before too long with more book news. See you next time.